Greetings. This is Scholar Saunders Singh. What's current? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right. So this is kind of a heavy show. Not too much laughing, kikiing. There's been a potential, possible terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado. There are multiple injuries. There's no definite number of people hurt, but it is said to have been a possible terrorist attack on a pedestrian mall in Boulder, Colorado, and the chief, I guess the sheriff, he has outlined how multiple people were taken to the hospital, mainly due to fire related injuries. There was alleged Molotov, excuse me, Molotov cocktails being thrown. It's pretty serious, pretty bleak, sad situation, pretty sad scenario that is going on in our country. But hey, I'm not trying to make this light. I'm not trying to make it airy. And these are like one in a million things. These are not happening every day, all the day. I'm not trying to make that the case either. But hey, we got people wanting to come into this country, knowing that there could be any time, any place. Like we saw in New Orleans earlier this year. It was January 1st. Now it's June 1st. A whole half a year ago, January 1st and June 1st, we saw that was a definite terrorist attack, and we have a potential terrorist attack, and we have people that still want to come to this country. They still want to join the party. I say, come on in. As long as you don't have a contagious disease and you're not a terrorist or a criminal. If you're an illegal and want to pick oranges, or if you want to be a domestic, or if you want to be a chemical engineer, you should have every right to come to this country. You want to be a nuclear physicist, you should have every right to come to this country. If you're from Guatemala, if you're from Ecuador, El Salvador, Nicaragua, it's just that serious. It's just that serious. We have these things, it looks like every few months or every few days, and never mind the mass shootings at schools and offices and theaters and things of that nature. Never mind them. Those are also a key component. But people every day want to come to this country to make a better life for themselves and their families. Bummer saying, "What up, brothers?" Okay, I'm trying to keep it real serious, Bumble. Let's keep it on a serious tip. I'm talking about some heavyweighted, serious commentary. It's pretty serious, Bumble. Let's try to keep it on a serious note. No kikiing, no giggling, ha ha hee heeing. We're gonna try to keep it as real, as serious as possible. Okay. So we have this potential attack on essentially Jewish people. That's what I'm getting on is people that are defenders of Israel. There's this organization called Running for Their Lives, and it's essentially is walk, run. I never understood walk runs. People break it down to me every time. I still don't understand the real. Like, I get it. You raise awareness. But you're just walking around. It's not. I don't. It never made sense to me. Make it make sense to me. Then we'll get it. I still have to. It has to be broken down to me like I'm a fifth grader. I get to break it down Barney style. But the Running for Their Life, there's mainly people. There was one person that was harmed, was a Holocaust survivor. So they're in their 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, probably. What's up with Colorado and shooting? There's no shootings. There were no shootings. You're speaking like Joe Biden right now. I am. I'm stuttering because I want to make sure I get my words right. This is Delaware thing. Don't worry about it. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Okay. I'm on my Joe Biden right now. You got me laughing. Don't get me laughing out here. Come on. Blink twice if you're good, Scott. Come on now. Um, but yeah, so there were no shootings as reported from Boulder, Colorado. There were alleged fire bombings, and people were hurt, and people were on fire, or were burned. Um, this is similar to, in my mind, to the marathon run in Boston in 2013, where 3 people were actually killed and dozens more people were very seriously injured. A lot of amputees on that. So that's what we have to deal with. We have to deal with this every day. But this is par for the course of the United States of America nowadays. We wait. It's been half a year. It's been 6 months to the day. It was January 1st of 2025. That's sad to me. That's sad. Where are we going? Rottweiler says, "God bless America." Yeah, God. There is no God, but I like that sentiment. I like that idea. God bless America. Makes it strong again. Makes it wealthy again. Makes it happy again. Makes it fulfilled again. That's instead of the MAGAs. God bless America means increase the morality and the ethics and the virtues and the values of this country, and acknowledge them. Did you see my comment? Yes, I did, Son of the Sun. Did you see my topic? Did you see where it says in the topic line? Go to the topic line. I have that lined up. Thank you for giving me that. Salute to you. I did a little research, and I'm about to go on it after I talk about Colorado. But thank you, Son of the Sun 90. I appreciate it. I'll go in on that in just a few minutes. Just hold on tight. That's going to be the other half of the show. Holly, yo. It's a serious show, Holly. Don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh, Holly. I'm being serious. I'm trying not to break a smile or laugh. I'm trying to be serious. I gotta remember like my years, my time in the Marine Corps, and and especially the recruit training part when I wasn't even a Marine yet. You couldn't even laugh. Son to son. Oh yeah, thank you. Here he goes. My brother. That's not my brother. Okay. I seriously want all the illegals deported. Oh my god. Holly. We're going into the weeds. Joe Skyden. I know. Yeah, that was good. That was good, Rottweiler. But we're going into the weeds, Holly. I just said a few minutes ago, out of my mouth. If you want to come to this country, if you don't have a contagious disease, you're not a criminal or a terrorist, and you're an illegal, please come over. I'll give you food. I'll give you shelter. I'll give you assistance, medical assistance for your family. I'll do all that. The attacker is probably named Muhammad. I don't think so. I don't think it's probably named Muhammad. I think it's probably named John Smith, and they were probably radicalized or something like that. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm just saying I don't think it's Muhammad. They can come legally. Yes, they can come legally. Oh, nope. Hell no. Not my tax dollars. It was a white loon. Okay. I don't know. The last attacker's last name was Rodriguez. Exactly. So you got to be really careful with saying like, oh, it's Muhammad. Oh, it's definitely Abu al-Shahid Rahman or something like that. That's too easy sometimes. You got to dig deeper sometimes. Sometimes it's just that simple. It's just very, on the cuff, very, to the point. But I don't know. Now, I don't think this time. I doubt it. I think it could be somebody like Richard Williams or something like that. I don't know. Richard Washington. Could be Richard Washington on it. So, but yeah, let him in. We disagree, Holly. Muhammad bin al-Shahib Yemeni Bakar Dadi. Exactly. I don't think that's the case this time. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I'm not going to say, oh, well, I know exactly what's going on. I know what's happening. No, I don't. I have no idea. I only got from reports that I just saw a few minutes ago. I wouldn't even known about it if my sister didn't send me a message on Instagram. She's like my reporter. She's like on the beat. Hell no. Anything we can't do somewhere else, they shouldn't do here. Wait, Holly. Wait, let me make sure I get what you're saying. Hell no. Anything we can't do somewhere else, they shouldn't do here. I'm gonna let that sink in for a little while. Let that sink in what Holly's trying to say. Holly's saying, if I'm correct, she can correct my dumb ass. I know that. She's a vicious Italian woman. She'll hit me over the head with a marinara spoon. But I know I'm making jokes. I shouldn't make jokes. But I say illegals are okay. Illegals are okay as long as they don't have contagious disease. They're not a criminal and they're not a terrorist or anything of that like. I'm saying give them welfare. I'm saying give them a check every month. I'm saying give all that. Give them all the goodies as long as they're willing to work. As long as they're willing to work. And if they're kids, you know, they can go through some kind of child care facility or something like that and be assimilated. Uh-oh, she's getting irate now. Why do they deserve our dollars? I think they deserve our dollars because they want to be Americans. They want to assimilate. They want to make sure that this is the greatest country ever devised, the noblest nation ever thought of in all of human history. That's why. What about me? Why should I not get all that? You should, Holly. You really should. You earned your way. You paid into the system. I think we all paid into the system. I paid into the system. I don't have to anymore. It's a little fortunate thing I worked out with the government a few years ago. You know, it's helpful. Holly, the kids are the future. What about me? Why should I why should I not get all that? But like I said, you should get all that, Holly. I'm saying there are people I would rather, you know, for somebody I know that video games you can play them and get money, and that's cool. That's really great, wonderful. But there are some people that are just obese, lying on the couch, playing video games, no job, you know, maybe at their parents' house, maybe have their own place, possibly not. I mean, I would rather give a welfare check to the legal than that person, that individual, because they're actually showing some initiative. They're showing that, you know what, I'm gonna pick these oranges. I'm gonna change these bedpans. I'm gonna change these sheets. I'm gonna change, you know, this over. Or you know, I'm a biochemist. I'm trying to get to a school. I'm trying to get tenure. I'm trying to get, you know, I'm a nuclear physicist. You know, whatever the case may be. I just can't. My skin's a little darker. I come from a different country. I speak Spanish, but I should be able to assimilate into the student bodies or to the faculty, not the illegals, kids. Okay, she's talking to Rottweiler in the comments. But that's what I'm saying. I just say join the party. Join the party. You don't know when or where. This is they, for dictators, they like to use the analogy of whack-a-mole. You know, everybody understand, you know, if you don't understand what whack-a-mole is, I have to break it down for you real quick. It's that game you play at the like Chuck E. Cheese, or you know, at the arcade. I don't know if what's it called? Woo. Oh my God! No, what's it? Well, just a video game. It's a video game centers and stuff like that. You whack a mole, and then another mole pops up, and then you whack that mole, and then another one pops up. That's like dictators. Dictators do that kind of action. They're known for doing that. You get rid of one dictator, then 2 or 3 pop up, you know, next to him. But this is like duck, duck, goose in my imagination. Like you say duck. That's a game also. You say where you go around in school and you have the kids are sitting on the floor, and then you say duck, duck. Like those are potential areas. Like that's like New York, New Orleans, Boston. You know, okay, duck, 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 goose. Okay, Boulder. Like That's the weird thing that we're in right now. We're in Duck Duck Goose right now. It's Whack Animal. I was at Chuck E. Cheese yesterday. Oh, okay. Okay. That's great though, Holly. I'm doing jokes now. I'm doing a joke. Can I just get one joke in? Let me get one joke in. It's hard for me to, looking the way I do, to get a table for one at Chuck E. Cheese. That was a little joke. That was a joke. Ha ha he he. Okay. I'm being serious now. I'm being serious. Yeah, so I say join the party. Join the party. I don't care if you're illegal. If you're illegal, that's especially. I want to see how much work you can do. I want to see how much you can put in. I want to see how much you can provide for your family. I want to see you, going to Wall Street or Silicon Valley, Silicon Prairie, Silicon Forest, Silicon Alley, all these different areas, Hollywood, Vegas. Produce, make a life for yourself. Enjoy your work. Enjoy your life. You only get one of these things. Everybody, thinks it's just, what is that? Pet humor? Yeah, that's a little bit of pet humor. Yeah. I stole that joke actually from Zach Galifianakis. I stole that joke. But I'm trying to remain serious. Y'all got to keep me on my, my ones and twos, my P's and Q's. I gotta stay focused. This is not the second half of the show. The second half of the show is going to be in about 14 minutes. Son to son. Just sit tight, sir. Sit tight. Bring in 3 or 4 people while you're waiting. Bring in about 10, 12,000 more people while you're waiting. I know you want me to get to that topic. I'm going to get to it. Don't worry. And I'm going to say a few things on that as well. It's going to kind of relate back to this. It's going to be kind of, people trying to get jobs, trying to get, find work. That's what I'm talking about. People that come to this country, the great majority of them, even if they're illegals, they're not just saying, hey, I'm just going to get a check and just lay back. No, they're going to be like, I'm going to get a check for now, get a position, and make sure I work my way up. I can be a dishwasher right now, but I can be the supervisor or manager in a few months or a few years. I can do that. I'm gonna take English language lessons at night. I'm gonna go early. I'm gonna wake up early in the morning, take more lessons. I'm gonna hone my skills, with restaurant management. Maybe go to the community college, get an education. Find a way. Restaurant and hotel management, something like that. Get $80,000, $150,000 a year. That's the American dream. That's the American dream. It's not the money. It's the work you put in to get to the money. That's beautiful to me. Gregory Wright. I'll be disappointed to see job. He's getting rid of it. All right, he got rid of it. Most don't assimilate. I would love to see numbers on that, sir. I'd love to see facts and stats related to that assertion. Most don't assimilate. Okay. I mean, I can just say I lived it. I lived in conditions where people were washing dishes. Literally, they're the Mexicans. We call them Migos. And before the Migos came or were really popular, we call them Migos. And they were good guys. They were great. They didn't speak a lot of English, but they did their job well. They made sure the pots and the pans and the dishes were all cleaned and the silverware and everything was all like that. They bust tables. I think that's beautiful. That to me is great. When you can work your way up, you can start off from the bottom, literally from nothing. You may have a person that they have to translate stuff. That's the beautiful thing about what we have now with AI. You can translate things on the fly. You can have a piece in your ear and listen to what somebody's saying, and it'll translate, and it'll go right back to you and tell them what they said in their language. I mean, what? Why would you argue with that? Why would you even be mad at that? They don't bother to learn English. Who doesn't? Give me more examples. Give me examples. I know for a fact that people, didn't learn English, but in time they certainly did pick up the language. They talking English behind your back. Yeah, sometimes I would imagine. So I mean, they do that at the nail salons too. They do that in nail salons. Holly says, I think I should be able to move to Italy, and Italy supports me. Entitled illegals. Okay. Okay, Holly. What was that place you were talking about? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm stupid. Maritas. All you need is $1,500 a month or something like that. What was it called? And that was in Africa, right? Something like that. I live in California, and a lot don't. I can't. You have to phonetically put it out for me, please, Holly. Just put it out phonetically. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm stupid. And all off the coast of Africa, yeah. Just put it out phonetic. Okay, Mauritius. Okay, thank you, Holly. See, vicious white woman, vicious Italian woman. She'll get my dumb ass in line. Okay, Gregory Wright. Okay, we're not talking about that right now, but we will get to it. We're talking about. I got to a point where I'm talking about illegals. I know we're talking about a terrorist situation, but I just like to channel it into what I always thought about. When I lived in California, Colinga is filled with illegals. Okay, and they hate black people. Okay, I'm a black person politically. No, excuse me. I'm a black person existentially, like metaphysically, I guess you could say metaphysically. I can't deny the fact that I have darker skin, broader nose, larger lips, stuff, just physically, just phenotypically speaking. But socially, I'm black, but politically, I'm a man of color from the United States of America. I'm foundational Black American. I know that, but in accordance to ideas, everybody is their individual self as a human being. We just got caught up into this BS of labeling everybody and saying that, oh, well, you have different color hair, you have different color eyes, you have different color skin color, you're different than me, I'm better than you, you're lower than me. And we got caught up in that, so that's the sad part. Hispanics despise black people. Of course, I know that for a fact. There's always going to be that rift because they want our spot. I'm going a little Patrice O'Neal right now. He was like, "You're not getting it, nigga. You're not getting it." He was like, they can have by 2050, there's going to be over 30,000, 3 million extra more, people that's going to be. That's gonna outnumber the black population for the Hispanics. He's like, you're not getting it, nigga. You're not getting our suffering plaque. You're not getting it. My son's dad is from Colombia and is the most racist person I've ever met. Oh wow. Yeah, I've encountered racism from Hispanic because they're scared, really, because they're scared that the men of color, like the FBA, especially foundational Black Americans, are going to take their women, just like the whites. One point they're like, forget it. Once you go white, you're all right. Once you go black, we don't want you back. So I'm very aware of that. I'm aware of that. My boss, he's dead now, but he was really riding me. He was like, he just had this air that like of superiority over me. He was a general manager, which obviously he has to have some kind of superiority over me, but he seemed like he went too far. Like he did stuff out of spite, like little things. Like I could tell he didn't really register that I was a full human being man. Like, come on, man. Like, let's have some respect, mutual respect. He checked out a few years ago. That's another story. But Boulder Boulder, Colorado. Boulder, Colorado is the scene of the latest terrorist attack. Very sad. I hope the injury accounts are, I hope their injuries are minimal. He brought he buck, no, he didn't buck break me, but he just had like a very aggressive and very um overpowering kind of attitude towards me. I know, yeah, I know. Going down to South, that's one of the first things I thought about. How they do everything. They declared December 23rd, 2023 or 24 that I think it was 2023 that 9/11 was a joke or that it's funny now. This is look it up. Look up South Park, September 11th, December 23rd, 2023. They declared 9/11 was going to be funny now. I'm serious. I looked it up. So they can find this to be funny. They can, they can poke fun at anything. And I don't agree with everything they do, but I do respect their right, the First Amendment right to say whatever they do. They used to be funny. I don't know if they're funny anymore. I haven't watched South Park in a long time. But yeah, they should do a show about them because that is their stopping ground. I remember they were on he's not the greatest person in the world, but Michael Moore, his documentary Bowling for Columbine, and how they were saying how people got Diggitland, yeah. And so people were saying how South Park is to blame, different shows like that for kids being pushed into do heinous acts and stuff like that, and they're just like, it's like this stupid. Wasn't that was it Trey Parker and Matt Stone? That's the reality that we live in though. But I just want the Boulder, Colorado people to be okay, to be safe. There I don't know what the reports are going to be like, what kind of fatalities, if any, what kind of injuries they're going to be. Like I said, there were reports of people on fire. People, their legs were on fire in certain circumstances. Okay, you look like a prop off the center set. Yeah, I do, right? Yeah, that's all right. What was that 1932? Something like that. South Park creator was in Bowling for Columbine. Yeah. I think it was I don't remember which one. It was either Matt Stone or Trey Parker. I think it was Trey Parker though. I could be wrong. South Park being corny. Yeah, I know. I haven't watched the episode seriously. I don't think since like it was Matt Stone. Okay, I haven't seen a South Park episode probably since like 2005. I'm serious. I don't think I've seen it in 20 years. I'm not even kidding. It's been a long time. I haven't seen a Simpsons episode in a long time either. Maybe it's the animation. I can't get down animation like I used to. I can't get down with it. Hey, you spoke. I was just about. You took the words right off of my tongue. You put it in the chat section. Ratwaller. They mock Jesus, but not Muhammad. Exactly. They tried. I'll give them credit. They did try, but the standards and practices stopped them, and they had to edit out Muhammad from one of the cartoons. I can't remember which episode it was, but that they definitely edited it out. The weed farm episodes are lame. They definitely mock Muhammad. Yeah, they definitely mock Muhammad. Yeah, but then God did. Okay. They did a whole episode where they put Muhammad in a bear suit. Yeah, they did a weird thing. They were trying to put Muhammad and they had Muhammad and Jesus together or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that was weird. That was a weird kind of take. That was a very weird take on the whole issue. Yeah, so that was a good point. Good point. But Boulder, let's go back to Boulder, Colorado. Possible terrorist attack. Very few details, very few facts, very few things are absolute, pinned down, definite. But I don't say thoughts or prayers. I'm so sick of it. I'm tired of that whole phrasing. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families and those affected by the terrorist attack. Like, shut up. Like, no thoughts, no prayers. Send them a package. Send them some money. Send them some, give them some aid. Oh, our thoughts and prayers are with it. We're gonna pray to God. We're gonna have a vigil. We're gonna pray and like, that's fine. You have every right to do that, but I'm not going to participate, and don't ask me to do. So, thank you. Okay, we're done with the Boulder, Colorado terrorist attack. I'm gonna read Gregory Wright first and foremost. He says, "I'll be disappointed to see JobCorps," and this is funny too when they say corpse. It's funny as hell. Go, but I'd agree much of the programs are overly ambitious. You can't really train people with a 5th grade education in mathematics to become a plumber. This is true. Wait. Charlemagne Holt would say sit in healing energy. Yeah, exactly. You mean lesser charge. You mean McKelvey. What's his name? Leonard McKelvey. Lesser charge. Capsule corpse. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Charlemagne. Yeah. Everybody's going hard on Charlemagne. I don't have any problem with him. If he wants to do a show, he actually. I get inspired by when it was like 2015, like 10 years ago. I used to listen to the show when I was doing work at the VUD in Wilmington. The VUD's Veterans Affairs in Wilmington, Delaware, and I used to listen to him, and I was like, okay, he's goofy as hell, but he's got some funny stuff. He's got some thoughtful, provoking stuff too. I don't agree with like 98 to 99% of the things he says, but it was good while it was lasting. But anyway, Job Corps. The main issue here, Job Corps is planning to say goodbye to over 25,000 people that are working all over this country in different job programs. What is this? Death. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black, Jack. Yes, massa. Yeah, exactly. The Bill Burrito joke about his eyebrows. I gotta see that. I don't know. Everybody makes fun of my eyebrows, but that's fine. They're natural. I might get them threaded or lasered or whatever the hell you might have to do. But anyway, Job Corps. I listened to. There's a quote. I can't remember who said it, but there was a quote by a journalist, I think, saying, "You don't go to the generals, you don't go to the president, you don't go to the officials, you don't go to anybody. You go to the ones with the boots on the ground. You go to the people that are in the fight when you're in a war zone." I kind of did that today with Son to Son's message. He Son to Son 90 sent me a message saying that I should do a story on Job Corps being cut. And this is my main takeaway. My main takeaway is good. It needs to be cut. However, I like what the language they're using. They're saying gradual. They're saying phasing out. They're saying continual processing. That's a good thing. Instead of just chopping it. That's you don't just chop people. They cut their legs from underneath of them. You allow them to have a program set up so they can sell all the Job Corps properties. Because I did a little bit more research and found out that there's a contractor, a private contractor that owns a piece of one of the program centers, I think in Florida. I could be wrong, but I know for a fact it was a contractor that owned it. So that's what needs to happen. Sell all the Job Corps facilities and all the programs to private contractors. Son to Son 90 is saying that's not good. Why is that not good? There's 3 things what is the sole reason why there's a government? The sole reason why there's a government is to protect individual rights, individual property rights. That's it. Nothing else. And there's 3 agencies that properly do that. There's the Marine Corps. They were part of it, but we're not the only thing. The military, the police force, and the law courts. That's it. All 3. The government does not have the money. There is no government. There's no government without the private sector. There is no. There's no. The government doesn't just appear and we've got money. No, it has to be earned through people's taxes. And the reason why there has to be no more taxes forced on people is because people don't necessarily agree with everything they do. Like I don't agree with the EPA. I don't agree with the FDA. I don't agree with the DEA. I don't agree with a lot of the alphabet soup. NOAA, all of them. They need to be sold off into private organizations. They don't make the money. They don't. They print money. That's all they do. They print money. Private individuals and people in the three organizations that protect individual rights, they make the money. USDA, exactly. Another example, should all be privatized. JobCorps, of course. Here we go. JobCorps. He's saying okay, but I'm not trying to go into a one-on-one. I'm just trying to say I'm just trying to say stories. These are stories I learned from a young female. She was obviously a queer. She was actually, or I should, do you say a queer or queer? I think you just say queer. She's obviously queer to be respectful. She had given her testimony on YouTube saying how her experience was like an 8 out of 10, and 10 being the greatest. So she said, it seemed like there'd be days where you could have freedom. You're able to go out and eat something, go to the Popeyes, McDonald's, and KFC and stuff like that. And that'd be on Tuesdays and Fridays. And then on other special days, you're able to just communicate and be social and everything like that. Now everybody hears horror stories. There's always horror stories. There's this one girl that was in a fight. She was, she had a head injury. She had to get a shunt in her head or something like that to drain the liquid or the fluids or something like that from a fight she had been in at the Job Corps. Now that's anywhere. We had fights when we were in recruit training. I never got in a fight because I was just keeping to myself trying to get that money. But that's what most of these kids are. These kids, you go to the website. It's the worst website I've ever seen. It's like they're already wearing the white flag. Go to Job Corps. Type in on Google, search Job Corps or jobcorps.gov. It says Beyond Job Corps. Already, it says Beyond Job Corps. We're done. We give up. Like it's over. Gregory Rice says Job Corps only costed $1.7 billion a year, but helped millions of people get out of poverty or at least join the armed military. The training wasn't good, but it was barely enough for a lot of people. I see where you're going. I see that's very true. 1.7 billion is that's exact number. That's right. $250 million was set aside for housing and paying off. Each student costs about $80,000 per head per person. They had to have a bed. They had to have they also had different ideas towards it being like prison. A lot of the young ladies that I witnessed, they said it was like going to prison. And it really, she explained it. She was like, they give you standard, state soap. They give you standard toothbrush. They give you standard, I don't even know if they gave you things to wear. I don't remember anybody saying what they wore. But it was very similar to being like locked down in a prison camp in some circumstances. It helped this one young lady out, but this other young lady, she didn't have it. That's the same. It looks like it's a mixed bag. It's a lot of people saying it helped me out. I got a great job, and if it wasn't for the Job Corps, I wouldn't have been able to receive this and that and everything like that. All these benefits. No school tax, if you know what I mean, happened in Job Corps. No, I don't know what you mean, son. 90. Explain yourself, please. You make it a blanket statement. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Yeah. So, you got to get the boots on the ground. You got to get the people that are actually, within the system. You can't just, oh, well, the director or, the person in charge really knows what's going on. No, you got to see what's happening with the people down here. And she was saying how young lady was saying how there was apparent people trying to sneak in boys into the girls' dormitories, the dorms, and vice versa. Guys trying to sneak in girls, and I guess some other guys and other girls. But yeah. So it's a weird situation because like that's the thing that happens in the military. One person ruins it for everybody. If one person gets caught with a guy or a girl or whatever the case may be, that's it. You get your privileges are stripped away. Everything is taken away from you because one person's decision to go against it. And then they team up on that one person. They say, "Why'd you mess this up? You shouldn't have done it." And it's a fight, and it's like, My whole conclusion, not conclusion, because I guess still got a lot of time left, but my whole idea is that just sell it off. Sell everything. Sell all of these government. Doge was a complete and utter failure on a level that is staggering. It didn't. It was like the intentions were good, but like everybody says, intentions are, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I don't even think they had good intentions necessarily. They don't know what and why to cut different programs. They don't know the reason for cutting the programs. They just wanted to cut them, and just to see how much money they can get from whatever situation and apply it to whatever they needed. Gregory Wright says, I don't disagree. JobCorps was a pretty crazy place. I was selling snack food out of my locker there and got beat over the head with a pillowcase of pocket change for that. Wow. It's real. It's real. Let me see. She was saying how she got paid $25 after a certain amount of time being there. And then it went up all the way up to $35 a week. I think it was like something like that. $25 a week, $35 a week. But your money is your food is paid for, your housing, you get a bed, and a little lock in the sock. Yeah, that's serious. Yeah, lock in the sock. That's even pillowcase full of change. Well, you can't even do a pillowcase full of pennies in a few months, few years. Well, a few years, actually. It's going to be a long time before the penny is actually taken out of complete circulation. But they're trying to get rid of the penny anyway. But anyway, that's a totally different subject. Yeah, so JobCorps is something that needs to be revamped. Make it privatized. Just privatize it. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. Just like private companies aren't perfect. But it's going to be, it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. It doesn't need to be a part of government, period. If it's not military, police, or law courts, it doesn't need to be a part of government. That's a fact. Yeah, but yeah. He got done like Gomer Pyle and Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, with the soap. They put the soap on the towel. Yeah. Gotta watch Full Metal Jacket. That's required viewing. Gotta watch that. But it's really a mixed bag with the boots on the ground with the people actually in the fight. They said the food was great. They said the food was great most of the time. They enjoyed it. That's probably what people say about prison in certain locations. So the food is probably good. But other places, like, the food is completely garbage. It's trash. It's awful. It's got like Diddy. It's got maggots in it. Let me see your war face. Exactly. Without JobCorps, a lot of kids are going to wind up homeless or in jail. Getting rid of such a program isn't really going to save money. Well, yeah, that's another thing. I think JobCorps is one of the last things that should go. That it shouldn't be a primary. One of the primaries, of course, should be regulations and controls. That's the thing. Not even getting rid of programs. Of course, get rid of programs. We should get rid of welfare, but that should be one of the last things to go. Yes, a jelly donut. Jesus H Christ, whatever he said. But I have a picture of him, Arlie Ermy, with his signature on it. But anyway, um, yeah. So privatize JobCorps. So tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands, or maybe millions of kids can get the proper education and funding and tools and resources that they need to prosper in this life in America. Doesn't have to be done by the government. Government does not have to run it. Government doesn't have to have any hand on it whatsoever. Not in any sense. But it has to be like the last things. It shouldn't be one of the first things. Job Corps, welfare, stuff like that actually help people and give them some kind of sense of funding, some kind of sense of being able to do a job. Last, not even like, shouldn't even be on the first docket. Should be restraints and controls and regulations. Those are the things that should be taken away. The Sarbanes-Oxley, Dodd-Frank, all these different bills and acts and different things like that, and laws, bills that have been signed into laws, they have to be repealed. They have to be taken away. Take those away first. See what happens. It's like we're on like a really? Is that gonna work? I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't get it. Like, that's like PhDs are like, oh really? Will that work? I'm not sure. I don't get it. Those are PhDs. Those are the eggheads and universities. Those are the worst threat to the United States of America, by the way. American universities, the heads, the professors, they're mostly not just socialists, but they're collectivists. They're not for the individual. They're altruists. And some of them are mystics. But mystics of muscle, because you can be a mystic of spirit or a mystic of muscle. That's the reality. Universities are propaganda machines. Yes, Bumba. Yes, facts. They're propaganda machines, but it's not only propaganda. It's just bad ideas, just piss poor ideas, not just propaganda, just piss poor ideas. Simple, not even grandiose kind of thought. Just piss poor ideas, just evil ideas, vicious, ugly, evil ideas that they propagate. Communists took over. Well, I wouldn't say communists took over. Some of them might be socialists. Mainly, most of them are fascists. They're fascists. They want, government to allow companies to exist and to make money and to have business, but they don't have controls and regulations that clamp on them at the same time. So it's more so fascism, more so than anything else. That's the role. That's the role that the government plays right now. Marxism and trans stuff. Well, I don't mind trans stuff. If they want to be trannies, that's none of my business. That's not for me to say. But Marxism, yeah, there's pockets here and there. Of course, there's still Marxism. As long as Jay-Z can wear a T-shirt and wear Che Guevara and claim him as a hero, that's pretty sad for the culture. I'm sure he hasn't worn a Che Guevara or talked about Che Guevara in his music in a long time, but I think he still holds him in high regard. He holds him in high esteem. They want to transition kids. No, I'm not into transitioning kids. 18 and older. 18 and older, because they're not, brain's not fully. It's just like them watching pornography or them watching, anything like that. It's not. Officially, they should not be having transgender children. That they should not, be, like they could be engaged in some kind of sex dens or something crazy. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. They will say you're a bigot if you say it's bad. Of course, I'm a bigot then. I'm a total bigot. I think it's not bad. It's evil. It's vicious. Because a child's brain isn't developed. Your brain isn't fully developed until you're 26. By the time you're 26, that's it. It's basically all downhill from there. But you don't have a full brain. You don't have a full mind until you're 26. But you have some semblance of a mind by the time you're 17, 18. When you're 17, 18, then you have a sense of who you are and what the world is about, and you understand and can comprehend and reason. That's the key. You can reason your way through life. They exploit that. Exploit what, Bumba? What do they exploit? Oh, going back to Son to Son 90. He said no gun attacks. Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. There were no gun attacks in JobCorps. To my knowledge, no gun attacks. That's a fact. I think that trend would continue when they're sold off to private contractors. That's what I would love to see. But that should be in the next 2 to 3 years, or 4 or 5 years, or 10 years, or something like that. Should be a smooth transition. Should be, shouldn't be the primary. Primary is to get rid of the FDA. The primary is to get rid of the NOAA. Primary is to get rid of EPA. Those are the primaries. Get rid of ugly, disgusting, programs and institutions that don't need to exist on the government level. You can easily have EPA. If people want to get together and say, "Oh, global warming, oh my God, it's a terrible thing. Oh, the sky's falling and everybody's hair is on fire. This is terrible. Oh my God." If you want to do that, sure, make it private. Fund your own way. Do it. Just sell it off. EPA goes for $250 million. Bang. Go to a private society, some kind of organization. Fine. That's a fact, Jack. I don't know what you're talking about, Bumba. You got to explain yourself. I don't know what you mean. But, fine. Sell off the FDA. They want to inspect medicine and tell what kind of drugs people should or shouldn't take. Fine. And if nobody understands, whether they are able to take in all those drugs, okay. But shouldn't be run by the government. And the FDA is evil anyway. It should be not Food and Drug Administration, but for Death Agency. You're gonna call it to Star with a Boris impression and see if he notices. Of course he's gonna notice. Bumba smokes poles and rubs man milk on his lips. Okay, now you're going all over the place. Where are you going, Son to Son 90? Come on, we're talking. I'm doing the show not for you, but for me. But I appreciate you for bringing it up to me because I didn't know that JobCorps was being eliminated. But I appreciate it. Let's keep you focused. Let's keep you focused. Yeah, he retracted last statement. Son the Son is wearing a trans thong and blowing on some bad pipes right now. Okay, I'll chill. Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to see where you're going. You don't have to chill. Like I said, I never blocked you. Never blocked anyone really, unless one person. One person said she was 14 years old. I said, bloop. Sorry, can't have that. Not on my platform. But yeah. So JobCorps. One of the last things to go. Department of Veterans Affairs needs to go. Let me be the first one to say it. I get money from them every month. I get health care all the time. It's beautiful. Doesn't mean that the VA should exist. It's facts. Should be sold off. Sold off into little pieces, maybe. To different, clinics and hospitals around the country. Private corporations. They're scared though. They're real scared though. See, Trump wants to. He wants to so bad. He wants to get rid of the VA, and I'm be right with him. But you got to give us time. You got to phase it out. You got to phase it out. You got to phase out the Job Corps. You just can't drop the ball and say, "Oh, well, too late now. You're on your own. Too late. Can't help you." It's got to be phased out gradually. What do you think the government should do about the at-risk youth? The government should do nothing with the at-risk youth. Private organizations should only concern themselves with at-risk youth. The only time the government should concern itself with at-risk is to recruit them into the military, the police, or prepare them for the degree in law, and to get their education in law school. All right, they're just going back and forth. That's fine. It's all about organizations and privatization, and that's what it's all about. The government is a gun. It's not a mammy. It's not a nurse. It's not somebody to fluff your pillows and tuck you in at night. That's not the government's role. The government's role is to protect you from foreign invaders and domestic criminals, and to litigate different court cases rationally. That's the only reason why there's a government. Everything else is superfluous or malignant. They're like tumors on the soul of America. But so Job Corps on its way out. Not really sad. Like I said, it's been a mixed bag. There's been multiple fights. There's been multiple people, getting hemmed up. Even in the chat, we learned about somebody getting hit over the head with a sack of coins. Should Dr. Umar take over Job Corps? Why not? Let him. I don't see a reason why he shouldn't. If he had the money, I'm sure he would. I mean, if he gathers enough people, if he generates enough funds, he could do it. Like I said, the contractors are in cahoots. I don't know if it's the proper word, cahoots, but they're in alignment with the government. Private contractors, they own pieces of different places, and I think it was Florida. I can't remember where it was, but it was a place in somewhere. But that just get rid of it, but not yet. There's a whole lot of others that need to go. A lot of others that need to be revamped, like the IRS. Let the IRS exist, okay? It should be an IRS, but get rid of all income taxes. Get rid of state, federal, and city income taxes. See what that would do to this country. See what that would do with America. How wonderful and prosperous we all would be if we had the money that they just suck out of our accounts, our paychecks, payroll taxes, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, all that sucked out. That's crazy. IRS could stay because there should be people that should be able to pay their taxes, but the taxes would be really cheap. Very cheap to run the government. It would probably be like $1,000. People pay $40,000, $50,000, $100,000, $1 million, $2 million for taxes, $10 million for taxes, more probably, depending on who they are. The more you make, the more that you take. That's a fact. That's true. It's not just a cliche. It's just true. Dr. Umar will make everyone wear those African blouses he wears. Should they bring back trades to high schools? Yeah, of course. But high schools should be privatized. So they shouldn't, have to worry about people being in trade programs. As long as the high school is a private organization, they should have every opportunity to be a plumber, do drywall, do roofing, do plumbing, do electrical work. That's the beauty of it. And I see that actually happening, but it seems far off. It's very far off. It's people aren't geared towards letting go of what the big government is all about. Let's do a new topic on why you haven't been with a woman or man since Obama was tap dancing. We spoken on that JobCorps pack. Let me address something to Sun 90. Well, I wouldn't be with a man, but I'll be with a woman. It doesn't make sense. I said it on the air. I said it doesn't make sense. My father is my caregiver. He has to live with me. I have to live with him. He monitors my drug intake. He makes sure I'm taking my drugs and doing what I have to do, taking my responsibilities. If I get a female, it'd be great, but I have to use her vehicle. Use her vehicle. I have to be in her vehicle. I don't have a vehicle. I don't have a license. I have a state ID. So. High school vocational training is the most successful way to get people out of poverty. Unfortunately, most high schools are daycare centers that don't offer vocational training. True, because they're government run. If they're privately run, they would give a damn because they would show if you don't get these grades up, you're going to be out of here. You're going to be eliminated. Almost said you can do it. Shame on him for not buying you escort every now and then. No shame, no shame whatsoever. Tap your knuckles for typing that. But hey, it's been real. It's been fun. I mean, it's not been fun the whole time. It's pretty serious. Let the people, heal. Let everybody, come to a point and let all the illegals come to this country, and maybe they'll take JobCorps right before it's run out, and maybe we'll have a better day. Thank you very much. Take care.